Around the world, data is defining every decision, and 3 megatrends are transforming how businesses thrive.
Things are changing in the banking world in Canada in the last 3 years more than they have in the last 30 years. We needed something that was scalable, available, the pricing had to be right. Under GreenLake Central, we can have a single pane of glass to manage the entire infrastructure.
Our ambition at Shawbrook is to unlock the customer experience. We want to be able to serve our customers better. We want to make use of technology as technology is evolving and bring digital to life for our customers. Zerto was a bit of a golden find. It gives us the ability to protect our workload, to restore our service and bring all the systems back online.
On any given night, we're shipping millions of groceries. Engine runs on HP, which has been absolutely rock solid, reliable, and performs super as well. In route optimization, where we thought we were pretty darn good, we started to put in AI algorithms there, and again, we're seeing reduction in driver miles and better on-time delivery.
One of the largest drivers is the need of speed of the data. Being able to compute and process that in private cloud and then provide real-time data back on the production line, that's invaluable. HPE has been a great partner. We're actually able to deploy and fix and patch our network now in 4 to 8 hours.
What sets Chase Center apart from other venues is our commitment to providing the best fan experience possible. Having data in real time is what enables us to deliver a personalized experience to every single person who comes to our venue.
We're making wine, but nothing runs without the IT systems. And HPE GreenLake help us cut the time of processing by a fraction of what it used to be, because it gives us that cost predictability. What I've been able to do is help to enable our environmental team by giving them real-time access to water data, to carbon emissions data. More and more people want to purchase products from companies that care about sustainability.
From vineyards to venues, banks to airports, HPE keeps data flowing, protected, and ready for AI.
Please welcome Jim Odorisio.
Well, good morning, everybody. Thanks for being here. I hope everybody's having a great show. It's always a busy week, but it's a great opportunity to mix and get together with our technical folks on the floor. Hopefully you've had an opportunity to look at some of the great demos we've had and some of the exhibits. And it's a great time to meet your peers as well. So thanks for being here. So we're really excited. I think we have a good show for you today. We're going to start with talking about these IT megatrends. We're living through one of the biggest shifts in IT history. AI is everywhere. Data is exploding. So the storage layer has quietly become the center of it all. And I think we're seeing one of those transitions almost when we had direct attached storage back in the early 90s, right? We made this huge transition to network attached storage, and now we're seeing this transition to storage. I think we're really at a sea change. CIOs are telling us that there are 3 mega trends that are really driving everything they do: the AI gold rush, data-driven innovation at massive scale, the great VM reset. Virtualization has been upended by Broadcom and some of the VMware changes. I know there was a session just before mine on VME, and I think it was packed. My peer will say that they had more people than I did, but maybe we need to make up some numbers. And the security imperative, because resilience and cyber recovery are now board level kinds of conversations, right? You don't want to be in the news. You have to keep your business up and running, and cyber is an ever-present threat. Storage sits at the crossroads of all 3. That's why we're not here to talk about hardware specs. We're here to talk about the foundation of your data strategy, because as your data strategy gets smarter and faster and simpler, you get better returns on your investment and better operational efficiencies. So the world truly has shifted. AI is generating data faster than compute can handle. I think we all see that. Security attacks are targeting the data itself, not just the access. Sustainability, especially here in Europe, has become a design constraint at every data center. So market changes have turned virtualization into the new battleground. that we've all had to deal with. If you would have said, hey, 2 years ago, were we expecting to be rethinking everything we're doing from a virtualization perspective, most of the folks here would have said, probably not. But nonetheless, that's where we're at. You know, and customers are sweating their assets. We're consolidating platforms, and we're rethinking what modernization really means. That's where HPE comes in. We can help with that. So when we talk about rebuilding a foundation, every IT leader we talk to is rebuilding something. The stack, the data center, the business model, or all of the above. Additionally, it's blowing up the assumptions about performance. VMware changes have upended licensing and cost models. And the security bar just keeps moving higher. So this isn't about tweaking what you have, it's about rebuilding, what's next. We want a hybrid and intelligent and resilient by design infrastructure. The good news is HPE can help you rebuild that infrastructure, and it doesn't mean you have to start over. It means you can evolve from where you are, and with the right platform, you can modernize in place, and you'll still come out looking like you planned it. That's where HPE comes in with the foundation that we can rebuild. It's built, the rules are built for the rules of AI, hybrid, and security. So if you look around at your peers, I don't think these rebuilds are going all that well, right? We have an opportunity to do it much better and do it much better together. So let's talk about the competitive landscape. One, you have monolithic lock-in. You often have multiple architectures, multiple management models, multiple management interfaces, varying operational experiences for each architecture, and costly upgrade paths. Second, you have this do-it-yourself chaos. Reference architectures, consultants, and then crossed fingers. We hope it works. So one sells you an appliance, the other sells you a project plan. And HPE takes a third path. It's a platform architecture approach with flexible consumption and the freedom to scale the way you need to scale. That's why customers are coming to us, because building the Taj Mahal for data on top of sand is not an architecture done right. It's agony. So you want to start with the solid architecture. And when you start with HPE, you start with the GreenLake Cloud Platform, and you start with the Alletra MP architecture from a storage perspective, and you have a foundation that you can build and scale and drive efficiencies into your operation. So let's talk a little bit about what this HPE storage at a high-level architecture looks like, right? So first of all, HPE has evolved into a hybrid cloud platform company. It's compute, networking, storage, it's all connected through GreenLake. Hopefully many of you are taking advantage of that. And storage delivers on a hybrid by design approach with the unified data layer, supporting our mission-critical business applications through our structured data solutions, the B10000, and then supporting your AI workloads in the unstructured space with the X10000, all running on top of a disaggregated, scale-out architecture. And we're going to talk some more about this because it's truly game-changing. We can scale performance and compute independent of each other. We can have multi-generational upgrades coexist. And then all supported with multiple layers of protection, leveraging a broad set of software and hardware capabilities from a data protection perspective. Our Zerto software, our Cyber Resilience Vault, our HPE Store Once appliance, we have storage tape, we continue to work with key backup partners in the industry. So we have a comprehensive top-to-bottom architecture and portfolio to support your storage and infrastructure needs. So that's not all. And we talked about GreenLake, and you saw some of the testimonies in the videos earlier. There's great value being driven out to deliver simplicity and TCO that scales. We have flexible models around CapEx, OpEx, or the full GreenLake service. Integrated turnkey bundles for private cloud, PCBE, PCAI, and increasingly VME as we talk about alternatives to our virtualization challenges with Broadcom. So if you want simplicity, we have it. If you want control, we support it. If you want both, you can get it through these pre-engineered solutions. So you can sweat your assets smarter without compromise and scale only what you need. That gives you the flexibility. You know, who's getting bigger budgets out there? Probably not nobody. So everybody's trying to be more efficient. Everybody's trying to fund the new things. We want to be smarter, more efficient, and allow you guys to invest in the critical technologies that are going to drive your business. So let's talk about the AI gold rush. So everyone has an AI strategy, but very few have a data strategy to go with it. And that's kind of where the cracks start to show. That's where the challenges show up. First, most AI pilots stall before they scale. 70% of enterprise AI projects never make it into production. Not because the models are bad, but it's because the data's a mess. We have a challenge with our data strategy, and we're gonna have some customers come up, and we're gonna talk about how critical it is to have a data strategy. The pipelines are slow, and the infrastructure can't keep up. You know, AI is running out of ideas. It's not running out of ideas; it's running out of IOPS. So how do we solve that? Second, infrastructure spend is completely inverted. We're heading toward more than $200 billion in AI infrastructure spending in 2027. Yet 65% of it is flowing to hyperscalers instead of enterprises. So the cloud is building castles and the enterprise is still laying bricks. And third, the data is everywhere. By 2027, 2/3 of AI training workloads will move back on-prem or to colos because of governance and sustainability needs and cost. And these things really matter. So AI wants freedom, compliance still wants custody, and you're seeing this trend of bringing data back on-prem. AI is probably the ultimate hybrid cloud workload. And by definition, HPE delivers hybrid by design infrastructure. So that's the gold rush, stalled pilots, upside down spending, and data scattered all over the place. And what customers really need isn't just more GPUs, they need a data platform that can actually keep up. And that's where the HP X10000 comes in. It's a foundation for AI data pipelines built for speed, scale, and sanity. So let's talk about the X10000. It's built on the same scale-out, disaggregated ElectraMP architecture and managed via the GreenLake cloud control plane. It's built for unstructured data and AI workloads. It's GPU direct, S3 over RDMA, and metadata intelligence built into the platform. So this is what turns your AI initiatives from experimental to operational. And so when storage understands your data, AI gets smarter faster. And this platform was built from the ground up to be an intelligent data platform. I'd like to show you a little bit of an example of how an X10K's inline metadata management enables faster time to insight. The ability to support inline metadata tagging, calculate vector embeddings on the fly, while interacting with LLM modules and leveraging MCP service connections. No indexing delay, no external data prep, immediately delivers context-rich answers, the data as it lands on the media. That's what happens when your data platform feeds GPU at memory speeds, which is what the RDMA interface does. So AI doesn't wait for your data, and with the HP X10000, it really never has to. I'm going to queue up a video here.
Today, we'll show a quick demo of how we're performing sensitive data redaction at the document chunk level. That's right, we can make use of the LLM even if you have sensitive data. We can also detect custom sensitive data, and we can provide LLMs with data that's safe to use. So in this demo, we create a bucket, we upload content, and then define some PII rules. As the data is added, the PII rules are applied against each document chunk, and then this information is passed to the vector database for use in querying the data. Let's take a look at this in action. Okay, so here we have the application, and we're going to upload some new financial statements. And great, that's almost done. And now let's take a look at one of these financial statements. And we can see that the PII detection hasn't been run yet. So let's go define some rules. Here we can select the type of sensitive data that we want to look for. So let's choose email and social security number. We can also create custom criteria. Let's create 2 custom rules. First, customer account number, and then secondly, the customer address. So let's exclude both of those. So let me put that in here. Address. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's go ahead and apply these rules. And in this application, we've got 2 users. Let's start with the user with limited access. Do we have a customer named Casey Moore? And we can see, yes, we do. And in this case, the account number has been redacted for privacy. Okay, now let's do that same query with the user that has full access. So I'm going to click New Conversation here and ask the same question. And what we can see here is that, again, now I don't have the redacted information. I've got the account number, I've got the full address, and I've got full access to the data. Let's wrap up. Today, we demonstrated 3 key concepts. First, we show that organizations with confidential data don't have to exclude it from their LLMs. Second, we showed that the data chunks offer an effective way to enforce access control. And finally, we show the ability to deliver real-time data redaction without impacting or changing the source document. Want to learn more? Ask about the X10000 and our data intelligence capabilities for customers with sensitive data. Thanks for taking the time today to watch this demo on HPE's ElectraStorage MP X10000.
So hopefully that gives you a bit of a sense for the power of the platform and the ability to apply inline intelligence as the data gets stored. A little funny story about that. I was at a board of advisors in New York a month ago probably. I know Kevin's out here. We were there. Got to see the great golf tournament and whatnot. But one of the customers asked, like, I love this, I like what you guys are doing, but I've got this PII problem. So I like to text in the team while we're in the meeting, and 2 weeks later, we were able to do that. Okay, so it's very versatile, it's very flexible, and it's easy to get at. So as much as it's super important to have the data platform, I think we also have to recognize that increasingly in this hybrid cloud world, in this heterogeneous world that we live in, data is everywhere. So data is distributed from the edge into data centers and colos and into the cloud. So it's critical that you have a unified distribution or a unified data layer. And that's where HPE's Data Fabric software comes in. So it gives you universal access, multi-control, automated tiering, caching, and mirroring across these environments. And it really allows you to get your data AI ready, right? It's a key piece of our technology. I think it helps differentiate us in the market, and this is an area that we're going to continue to invest in. Now I want to break this up a little bit and definitely improve the show. We're going to ask Dr. Christine DiNardo to come up to the stage from the Olivia Newton-John Cancer Research Institute. Christine? Thank you. So, Christine, thanks for joining us. I love what you guys are doing. I think it's an awesome mission. And you guys are just, you guys are innovating like crazy. And so let's talk a little bit about what you guys have been up to, how it's really driving results for you. So when you think about truly AI ready, as an institute, what has to be true for the data before you can get the benefits out of your AI projects?
So thank you, Jim, and thanks everyone. It's really great to be here. So I'll take a step back first and just let you know why this is so important for us. So as Chief Operating Officer of the Olivia Newton-John Cancer Research Institute in Australia, we have a bold mission to make sure that every cancer patient has access to the most tolerable, effective, and accessible cancer treatments. So we must work at a pace that is commensurate with what cancer patients need. And we must do that by also making sure that our data is safe and secure. So for us, thinking about being AI ready and at the pace that these innovations are evolving, the foundation for us is very much good data and data security. Because data isn't just numbers for us in medical research. Behind every data point is a patient and their cancer journey, and potentially the next discovery for a research breakthrough. So we treat it as an extremely valuable asset, and we need to make sure that our data platforms and storage solutions, and now that we, thanks to HPE, have a phenomenal hybrid solution, that it is secure, reliable, scalable, and flexible, and that can grow with us and respond to our evolving needs. So in line with what we just saw, most of our data is unstructured, and so we need to be able to classify it, describe it, and tag it to get that rich metadata so that when you can then really think about how we can use AI to unlock possibilities that were previously unimaginable. So for us, we look at making sure that our researchers have access to the right tools to be able to make sense of this data so that we can follow on to the next research breakthrough.
Oh, that's awesome. And I think it's, you guys have obviously, everybody's in a different place in their journey from an AI perspective, but you guys have gotten over the data problem. Now you're into really innovating, and that's really awesome to hear. So you've some of the biggest, you guys have said that some of the biggest answers in cancer research may kind of be hidden in the data. How does better metadata really help you get to those answers that much quicker?
Well, I mean, we're seeing such an explosion of innovation and consumption with regards to our technologies and tools. So all of our genomics data, our patient information, and histology slides, you know, we may very well have the answer to the next research breakthrough already existing in our data, but we need to be able to make sure that we are understanding what we have. So the faster that we identify this potential discovery, the faster we can get it back into patients. So with our genomics and proteomics data, we're getting more data points that are also being generated through these sophisticated research technologies. And so by categorizing and linking our data and being able to actually connect it across different data points and correlate it together, we're going to get answers faster. And so for us, when we see the combination of innovation, research, critical thinking, and AI models, we can get to the point where we even know and apply algorithms that can actually help us predict the best treatment option for a particular patient. And we can also work towards automating our resource deployment and accelerating our AI analysis, and looking through even the lens of digital twins, which we're currently using, where they can actually even model tumour types and tumour profiles and be able to respond better towards treatment and making treatment decisions.
That's amazing. I mean, when you think about the reason behind the projects, and everybody's searching for their AI projects to deliver operational efficiencies or be more intimate with your customers, you guys are saving lives. That's just fantastic. Love the story. So, I mean, as you look at preparing historic and emerging data sets for advanced and even agentic AI models, what kinds of patterns or correlations are you guys looking for?
So we're looking for very much understanding the complexity of the data that we have, and AI can help us do that at a scale that a human simply can't. So even if we think about the kind of information that we receive when we're running clinical trials or when we're working with patient data, AI can actually help us determine rare variants in the data that we're looking at that we may not have picked up before. So that could be genomic variant combinations or microarchitectural features in histopathology slides with our patients when they're going in for diagnosis or throughout their cancer treatment. And then we can actually be able to correlate this across the spectrum of different data that we have to get more information. And one thing that we're really excited about is the opportunity to actually be able to uncover new biomarkers that might tell us about a potential survival biomarker, so we can understand what to focus on in terms of increasing survival in patients, but where we can also learn about markers that actually predict that a patient may not respond to treatment, so that we can deploy the right tools and the right treatments.
That's fantastic. So how do you see AI improving, personalized medicines, kind of predicting, these outcomes more effectively? How do you see that evolving? And where does that play kind of relative to the importance of everything you guys are doing?
Well, I would say that the importance of everything we do are very much the fact that cancer patients are our beneficiaries. So our goal is always the same: get the right treatment to the right patient as fast as possible. And so personalised medicine relies on genomics information and DNA sequencing. And these are large and complex data sets. So AI would be helping us interpret that data and the complexity of that data at scale that we couldn't otherwise do. And it'll allow us to actually analyse patient samples and histopathology slides to actually predict the evolution of a tumour and how it changes over the course of treatment, because there isn't a single patient that is the same. Even if you have the same cancer, the tumour profile within a particular person is different. So it's really important for us to focus on personalised immunotherapies and be able to understand an individual and their makeup of genomics and DNA to be able to apply the right choices. And AI can very much help us guide the treatment option and reduce toxicities, because the other big thing that we hear from patients is the fact that, you know, they're stuck making choices about what treatment they might go on to next. They're not just looking for a treatment that might extend their life. They're looking for treatments that give them a good quality of life. And we often see patients who refuse treatment because the potential side effects are so great. So if we can eliminate that and make sure that we are using the intelligence of our data with the support of AI to be able to predict response rates and making sure that patients not only have an extension of life, but also a better quality of life with their families, then that's what we want to do.
That's fantastic. Just really quick now, what's the next? I mean, what you guys have done up to this point is so awesome, right? But like, what do you see next? What's around the corner?
For us, what's next is continuing on this journey, but continuing to innovate at the pace and keeping up to speed with the pace of how data is evolving, how patient requirements are evolving, but also making sure that we have the right tools and resources and expertise to be able to respond. So I think personalised medicine is definitely the way forward, and AI is going to help us streamline that and create efficiencies, but it's also time to discovery. So in this age, we're very much going to be looking at how we can accelerate drug discovery and how we can even better the clinical trials that we perform to reduce the requirements for placebo and make sure that, again, we're trialling new technologies and new treatments on patients that are more likely to benefit rather than whoever is just recruited to a study. And then that will also give patients more confidence with regards to the fact that they may benefit or at least have a greater chance of benefiting from a clinical trial or an experimental drug. But we remain committed to making sure that we're doing everything that we can to prolong quality of life and ensuring equitable access to everyone.
Well, I just want to say thank you. We appreciate the partnership, and we want to do everything we can to help you guys, blaze this trail. It's truly awesome, and I thank you for sharing your story with our audience today. Thank you so much.
And I also I do want to say, none of this is possible without collaboration and phenomenal partnerships. Cancer touches everybody. Everyone has had their experience and their journey, either personally or through somebody that they know. And we play a small part in it, but everybody here plays a part in it as well, as has HPE with our partnership, because our future is dependent on the data that we have, and unless we can make sure that we're treating that with the respect that it has and being able to interrogate it and move it forward to get those breakthroughs and to get that information out, we can't keep progressing at the pace that the patients need us to. So I'm grateful for the collaboration and the opportunity to tell you our story today.
Well, thank you very much. Dr. Christine DiNardo, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Well, that was great. Obviously, the kind of sort of thing that we like to all be involved in. Hopefully, gave you guys some good insight. So let's move over. We talked about the AI gold rush. The second of the mega trends is around the great VMware reset. Virtualization has gone through a shock. License changes, cost spikes, enforced migrations are really what's going on right now. Every one of us is looking at how do we deal with this, right? I've got the same amount of budget. My licensing costs just doubled or tripled or whatever. So most enterprises are now juggling 3 or more hypervisors and management tools. And storage is running the VM workloads is often 5 years or older, so it's aging fast and budgets are shrinking. So we're sweating our storage assets because we're trying to figure out where to go with our virtualization licensing. So HPE's role is simple. We make virtualization boring again. Kind of counterintuitive, but it's predictable, it's hybrid, it's open, and it's cost efficient. The B10000, we're going to talk now about our unstructured storage, is the backbone of this modernization. It's simple to scale, it's built for the hybrid cloud, and it's designed to eliminate lock-in. So let's probe a little bit deeper. So the B10000 is truly the hybrid cloud engine. It's a modern engine for hybrid cloud block storage. Disaggregated architecture. It means that it has the ability to scale capacity independently of performance and vice versa, delivering predictable performance, optimized TCO, and no forklift upgrades. The current and future hardware versions can literally operate in the same cluster. That's multi-generational compatibility. Think about that. Multiple generations can exist in the same cluster. There's no forklift here. There's not Gen 1 to Gen 2 and we need to migrate a bunch of data. This is Gen 1 and Gen 2 operating in the same cluster. That's truly breakthrough. Switch configurations for disaggregated scale. That means via an NVMe switch network, we can scale performance and capacity independently. And switchless configurations allow for simple, high-density deployment. We're talking about a 4-node switchless system that literally delivers over 2 petabytes of data in 4U. That's truly groundbreaking. It's built for VM modernization, mission-critical workloads, and hybrid cloud connectivity, all with cyber resilience built into the platform. So again, here we are, we're in Europe. As you think a little bit about sustainability, I mean, this is really where the B10K helps converge. It's the convergence of innovation, performance, and security. It all comes together while addressing the ecological challenges that are so important to all of us. Sustainability is no longer a side conversation. It's a requirement, right? It's a requirement. The ElectraMP platform reduces waste through a mix and match upgrades, common hardware, and the previously mentioned multi-generational compatibility. We have true sustainability advantages. Flash radically reduces energy and cooling compared to spinning media, but everybody has that. Our disaggregated architecture takes you to the next level because you add only what's needed when it's needed. You only have to add just the amount of compute or just the amount of capacity that you require. That results in lower carbon emissions. With the Sustainability Insight Center, customers see real emissions, real power usage, and real savings, not just estimates. So HPE is committed to your sustainability needs. So just to drive this point home about what our competitive advantages are, some vendors offer DIY kind of sprawl, multiple products for different scale, plus reference architectures. We offer a single hardware, software, and management platform that scales from the low end of the market to the high end of the market, mixed workloads, cloud extensible, mission critical. And we have a competitor out there that's complex, siloed, and over-allocated. In the place that we have one product, they have 5. Every one of those 5 products has its own management interface. Every one of those 5 products has its own architecture. We have a single architecture, a single management interface that gives you radical benefits from an operational efficiency perspective. So the difference couldn't be more clear. And the payback is radically enhanced through operating benefits to our customers. The B10K is the fastest growing storage platform in HPE history. Superior flexibility and economics, and we talked about the multi-protocol and scale-out architecture. Storage is fundamentally on autopilot, leveraging enhanced AI ops that run within the platform. AI-driven hybrid cloud experience connecting in the GreenLake intelligence as well, and literally delivering ultimate peace of mind from downtime and threats. We've had triple-digit growth for 3 consecutive quarters. And HPE storage outpaced the market by 7x, according to IDC, in Q2 of this year. So we're building momentum in the market thanks to many of you, and we're going to continue to do that. So what's new in the B10K? We haven't stood still. This platform came to market in 2023. We've just installed, I think, our 10,000th system. We believe we'll double in the new year. But we're not sitting on our laurels. We continue to invest aggressively. We added a new file service and 4-node switchless configuration to expand flexibility and consolidation options. We added cybersecurity into the platform, native multi-layer detection and cybersecurity into the platform. We now run software-defined storage on Azure Outpost, Azure Local, and AWS, giving customers a true hybrid optionality. And our future-ready guarantees, cyber resilience, zero RPO, RTO, energy efficiency, lower risk, zero downtime guarantees, et cetera, give you the peace of mind that you can invest with HPE and we're going to take care of you. So let's take a look at the HPE architecture and the B10K and to build out the private cloud experience. So now we're talking about the same hardware architecture, the same operating system, and how does it feed into a private cloud experience, the Private Cloud Business Edition, which we with the friendly acronym of PCBE. So if you didn't know what that stood for, Private Cloud Business Edition. It's the simplest way to modernize virtualization without being trapped in legacy licensing. It gives customers hybrid cloud agility and a unified VM management. You get hypervisor choice because we can run on VMware and we can run on HPE VME, lower licensing costs, and a smooth path away from VMware lock-in. It's a modern HCI infrastructure with enterprise resilience, leveraging the B10K that we just talked about, giving you scale and protection. This is hybrid by design, alternative to the rising costs in the market. It's also future ready. Customers can scale at their own pace, leveraging the architecture we just talked about. And then if you want one slide that defines our virtualization point of view, this is it. It's a modern private cloud built on Alletra MP, unified VM management, lower cost, lower risk, and the freedom to modernize on your terms. So let's talk about some of the benefits of the Private Cloud Business Edition. The software savings are real. When customers move to Morpheus VM Essentials and leveraging the VM PCBE with VM Essentials, we've modeled a 5-year migration scenario and saw 40% savings as customers moved to VMs over time. This is not a theoretical benefit. This is what customers are seeing right now. Second, those savings are multiplied when Private Cloud Business Edition is deployed on the right infrastructure with Alletra B10K. Customers can see 2.9 times lower TCO for mission-critical and mixed EHCI workloads. That includes performance, scale, and cyber resilience, all wrapped up into a single box. For the edge and general purpose HCI use cases, we have Private Cloud Business Edition running on SimpliVity. It delivers 2.1 times lower TCO. It lets customers standardize across sites with a single operating model that matches the workloads to the right platform. The bottom line is simple. PCBE leverages a common architecture, the GreenLake Cloud Platform, delivers a unified management, hypervisor choice, and a predictable modernization path. The economics make the decision easy from a PCBE perspective. So at this point, I want to bring up our second guest, Alan Harper, who's the Director of Corporate Technology from Schwab Bank. Alan, thank you for joining us. So Alan, you guys have been super busy. Tell us a little bit about what you've been up to, and we'll just kind of jump into this.
Yeah, so Shawbrook has been very busy over the last 12 months. We've recently gone public, and the journey that we were telling our investors about going public was very much centered around technology and data. We've invested heavily in the Alletra MP and ProLiant servers, and it was really a core part of the story when it came to our investors to show how we were using technology and a hybrid multi-cloud strategy to really benefit our customers and colleagues.
So you've gone through some, not only, you went public, but you had some acquisitions. And And I think as we talked earlier, there was you really saw that you were able to sell the benefit of the technology, helping you be ready for these big sea change things, acquisitions, and going public. And the technology really played a role there.
100%. So the fact that we completed an acquisition earlier this year and we completed an IPO, that wouldn't have been achievable without the technology that we had as a framework. We was able to complete the acquisition in 3 months, and it didn't detriment any of the engineers' times from focusing on other pieces. It was almost done as a side of the desk activity, and it was only achievable because of the technology and the Electra that we had.
I love that because it really helps you, the infrastructure and the technology helping you do what you guys need to do, which is run your business and serve your customers, and that's the way it should be. We talked a little bit earlier, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the third mega trend, and it's really about security and resilience. But you guys have taken the cyber security challenge kind of head on, and tell us a little bit about what you've done there.
So we look at it from a multi-layered approach. So we utilize the Zerto software. So we're able to replicate our entire production estate from between our data centers and to the cloud, and we complete annual DR tests, or more regular DR tests now. Previously it was annually, now we do monthly tests, and we're achieving an RTO of around 5 seconds, and we're able to just complete a simple quick DR test within that. We're now expanding that, utilizing the Cyber Vault, and really being able to go to that next level, that if something detrimental happened, we're able to have a completely siloed area that we can carry out forensic activities or any activities that we may need, but be able to keep the bank functioning. And then on top of that, we don't just put all of our eggs in one basket with Zerto. We utilize another HPE partner with Veeam, combined with Store Once and tapes, so we have a completely immutable restore point as well.
You're a great example. We're going to talk about data protection a little bit, but you're using everything, which I thank you for. But from a cyber resiliency vault, maybe the key thing is you have quick recovery options. So you're combining this second RPO, RTO with a local ability to recover locally. You're not having to pull it off of the cloud. So you can maybe avoid that ransomware discussion, right?
Exactly that. So, and we hope to always avoid that ransomware discussion.
Exactly.
But if it ever came up, we have that ability, and it really gets visibility across all of our executive level now as a result of that. So we have a standing agenda in our monthly board risk, where we give a cyber update, and initiatives like the Cyber Vault is very much front of mind from our executive level all the way down.
Well, that's fantastic. And Alan, I love you. I love the partnership, and we're always going to be here for you. Alan's been here for us. He's just a super partner, and I love the results that you guys have been able to get through that partnership. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Alan Harper, thank you.
Cheers, Jim.
So we're going to move on quickly here, but let's talk about the third mega trend, and it's really around security and resilience and that imperative. So we're kind of in the home stretch. We've talked about the two of the mega trends. They're driving board level conversations, like I said, around the AI gold rush and the VM reset. Now, let's talk about the third mega trend. Security isn't a feature anymore. It's got to be built into the architecture. Ransomware attacks are up 95% year over year, and more than half of the victims are hit again within 12 months. So defense isn't enough. Recovery is survival. And we talked a little bit about CRV, that ability, the cyber resiliency vault, because now you're recovering directly on-prem. So instead of taking 18 hours to maybe recover your data from a cloud, you're recovering in 2 hours. And you can say, look, I'm just not going to even have the ransomware discussion, right? 80% of IT leaders say tool sprawl is their biggest risk. First, if you can't see everything, you can't protect everything. Organizations are operating across multiple regions and sovereignty regimes. Cost of getting data placement keeps going up. So this is why we've embedded resiliency into the platforms, right? We've embedded with CRV, we've embedded a cyber layer into the B10K. We'll have cyber resilience in the X10K as well. So the goal is simple. It's really faster recovery, total control, minimize the drama, no matter where your data lives. So we talked about multiple layers are protected when we talked about the storage architecture. Everything from a unified data layer to the structured and unstructured, sitting on top of a disaggregated storage architecture supported by multiple layers of protection. When we think about this, we're thinking about cyber security. We'll recover from threats. We talked about it. High performance, optimize, at the business speed, and workflow automated, planned for every use case. And it's all built on top of Zerto software, our cyber resiliency vault, our storage targets, backup targets like HP Store Once, the Electra Storage X10K, which we just demonstrated can back up and recover at 1.2 petabytes an hour, literally the fastest backup target in the industry. And we continue to have HP storage tape. This is a comprehensive portfolio. It allows you to be successful in protecting your data from not only in traditional ways, but from the cyber attacks that are so prevalent. So what's new in data protection? Continuous data protection via Morpheus. So we talked about, we're integrating, we have Zerto on VMware. Zerto is going to now be running on with VME here at the end of the year. So that's a major step forward. We just refreshed the Store Once platform. So industry-leading Store Once platform. We got full stack resilience with our partners, with Commvault, Veeam, and Cohesity. Optimized for integration with our B10K NVMe platform, VM Essentials. So we have an integrated ecosystem. And then smarter operations. We're integrating with MCP. We're integrating with GreenLake Intelligence and AI-driven policies that automate protection scenarios. So the stronger, we're building on a strong base of CDP. We're going deeper with the backup ecosystem, and we're reinforcing and making it all work together for you guys. So look, I won't go through all of these. I think we're running a little bit over, but the road ahead, everything from investing in AI data everywhere, cyber resilience by design, the unified data fabric, huge piece of what we're trying to do, our open cloud operations, agentic AOps everywhere, next generation efficiency. We'll have next generation hardware, and you don't have to worry about when it comes out because it'll operate with the existing platform. You don't have to worry about throwing away the old stuff. You can continue to use the new generation with the old generation. And you really need to think about that because that is game changing. Nobody else can do that. We're going to continue to innovate around the ecosystem. We're going to have our partners. We're going to focus on our technology and our own IP, but we're going to have a healthy ecosystem, and we're going to continue to simplify the hybrid cloud. So look, to wrap this thing up, your data is your strategy. We talked about how important data is to the whole deal. We need to start with where it lives, and that's the infrastructure. And why is HPE differentiated in that regard? It's because HPE storage is simple, it's scalable, it's sustainable. It runs your mission-critical applications, AI projects, and it virtually pays for itself. I really want to thank you for your time today. I want you to make sure you have a great afternoon, take advantage of the show. And most importantly, safe travels to home, to wherever that is. So thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.